In the last year, I've spent over $1 million on Facebook ads, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing the 4 most important things I've learned from it. These are things I learned throughout the year as we all adapted through iOS 14. Before we get into it, I'd love to show you some proof on some of the accounts I'm currently on as well. So this account was 138. On this account, we spent 197. This account was 314. This account was 704. So that's roughly over $1 million. Again, I haven't done the exact calculation since I stopped counting, but there's a social proof for all of you guys out there. So let's start off with the first lesson. So the first one for me is your ad account strategy doesn't matter as much as you think. Now this can go into a bunch of different principles, but the main things I'd like to focus on is product, your offer, your landing page, and your creative. So let's break each one of them down. We'll start with product. Now there's no amount of marketing or ad budget that can actually help a bad product sell. So here's a few things that you should be looking out for. Products that are evergreen, which can be sold throughout the year, can be super helpful. You don't want to be launching a fitness brand when it's winter. Another thing I like to do when validating ideas or existing products is launching average creative. If you can sell with average creative, that means there's some type of validation already there. If you have an existing brand, you'll get a lot of feedback from actual customers. Go through your Facebook ad comments, your reviews, see what customers are currently struggling with when it comes to your product, and iterate your product from there. Next up is creative. Creative itself is a whole separate video, whole beast of its own, but I'll walk through a few things you should definitely look out for. Creative can be a great lever for a brand. It can help tell different types of stories and even connect with your existing audience. Being able to create high quality videos or photos for your brand is a great tool to have. You should ideally be focusing on people either using your product or directly talking to your customers on how you can help them. Unfortunately, customers don't quite care about your brand. They only care about how you can help them. The ability to test new hooks and styles on your ad account can really help scale the business from 10 to 50,000 a month. Moving on to the next one, which is offer. You ideally want a good offer to be able to scale your product profitably. A few things you can focus on is creating bundles, upsells, or even subscription models. Try to keep it as simple as possible so it's easier for the customer to understand what is happening. So the last component would be landing page. The ability to tell a story on a page which allows your customer to walk through the journey with you with your brand is super key. Ideally for this, you want to test different types of landing page and see what works for your customer. Everyone consumes content differently, so there's currently no one size fits all with landing pages. So moving on to lesson number 2, the person who can actually acquire a customer profitably on Facebook ads will win. For example, we have 2 stores, Store A and Store B. Store A buys a product for $5 and sells it for $20, which means they can afford to spend $15 to get a customer, whereas Store B buys a product for $10 and sells it for $40, which means they can spend $30 to get a customer, considering Facebook as an auction-based platform. If Store A and Store B are running ads to the same audience, Store B is going to win all day long. They're going to be able to consistently outbid Store A because they can afford to spend more money per customer. So what can you do currently to be more like Store B? So if you're a new business, you ideally want to focus on finding products with a high profit margin. That is going to make advertising so much easier. So let's say your profit margin on your product is $10. That means you're going to have to be consistently getting customers for around $5, which is almost impossible on Facebook nowadays. So back to my previous point with building offers, you ideally want to continue doing that to help build the AOV of your products. So using things like upsells and bundles will increase your average order value and make it much easier to advertise on Facebook because you're going to make more money per customer. Lastly, you want to use email and SMS marketing to get your existing customers to come back and buy again. This is called lifetime value. After you run a product for a long time, this becomes your most important metric to focus on, as it's a lot more expensive to acquire new customers than to just take care of your existing ones and sell more to existing customers. So now the third lesson I'm going to talk about in this video is actually about tracking. iOS 14 had a huge change when it came to actually tracking the right purchases, which came from Facebook ads. Now, here are some proper tools that you can actually use to make better and smarter decisions when you're running Facebook ads. So these are some of the tools I currently use to help tracking our ads. We use the likes of Triple Whale, Northbeam, Google Analytics, and Shopify reports. If you want me to dive deeper into these, I'm happy to create a separate video on tracking alone. Now, the final lesson is about testing. Testing is so important with everything you do on Facebook ads and in marketing in general. Now, this can include testing new angles, offers, creatives, and even landing pages. You need to rely on your team and your customers for constant feedback and iteration. Something we like to do every week is look at what's happening well in the ad account, write it down, and see how we can iterate on it. Whether it's an ad, creative, or even landing page, we want to see where customers are actually converting and then iterate on that and make it even better. As a business owner, whether you're big or small, you want to be able to find the biggest lever that you can actually pull when it comes to running ads. So guys, that's the end of this video. If you did find it useful, please drop a like and comment below. I create e-commerce and marketing content every week, so if that's something you're interested in, definitely subscribe to the channel. For now, I'll see you guys next time.